Welcome back to round 2. Christopher, Postel, Matej, Zatlkaj. Second feature match will be Manuel Meyer against Jakub Matousek.
Matousek. It's always very tricky with the way diacritics works in Czech and Slovak and other languages, of course. Like, how do you properly pronounce that? All right. Anyway, we're back. We saw round 1 was very interesting. It ended up in a draw, and we talked about a little, but there actually ended up being 3 tables that drew, I think. So. It's going to be a long day at the office, but it's good for you. It's good for us. We're going to have a lot of magic streaming. That's going to be fun. And we have a really good feature match. It's going to be red-green ramp against Bant company. Yeah. So let's head on down to the feature match area that we have set up for you guys. There we go. And we are going to have Jakub Matousek from the Czech Republic on the left against Manuel Meyer. And I actually chose this feature match, even though we had couple of good ones. To choose from, but all the good players lost. Like, we even didn't get through the list of players.
The Austrian guys, Sebastian Fiala-Ibic, Thomas Holzinger, Nicolas Eigner, then
Stepan Sucic of Croatia, also super solid player, also lost. Andrej Rutar, also an experienced pro player, also lost. I mean, they're going to play each other in the loss bracket now, so quite unfortunate. But still, there's a couple of others that have won their rounds, and Manuel Meyer being one of the better players here in the tournament. Maybe not as famous, but he's a mainstay on the GP circuit. He has several cash finishes already, and he's actually good friends with the Dickman brothers and with the German crew of like Wenzel Krautmann and all the others. So they hang around a lot. They organize things for themselves. So they're actually quite interesting.
And it looks like both players keep the 7
again, which is great. And Lumbering Falls starting on the left, and we'll see the ramp plan from Jakub develop this game.
It's not that interactive on the first turns. And Manuel's cracking his fetch land, going to 19.
And let's see if he has a 2-drop here. Could be Sylvan Advocate or maybe a Stratus Dancer.
Yes, Stratus Dancer.
Does he play any?
He's played 2 Stratus Dancer, as we've seen in the first game.
Even better though. Again, as you said, Jake's a little better than Stratus Dancer in turn 2. Okay, let's see if there's ramp from Jakub Matousek here. He plays. Okay, I know that card. It's the new one, Ruin in the Wake. There we go. So actually, having played the Wastes on turn 2, now you can ramp. It's one of the few ways to get really effective ramp that's not reliant on creatures. And great for Jakub here, right? He has to search out for basic land here, and can play here, and goes for the mountain. So good fixing already. He's playing a really interesting version.
Yeah, sure. I've looked on the deck list. He's only playing 2 Rattleclaw Mystic, and he's playing the red-green version with the Chandra, and so Jay's flipping. I'm sorry, Jay's tapping, not flipping.
Yeah, and I think discarding. There was a Dromokus command. Played already. It looks like it was discarded to the Jays because Dromokus command is not that great against
the ramp deck.
Against the ramp, but so he just discards that, fetches with a Wind 17. Let's see what he can play here. It could be anything from a Deathmist Raptor. Maybe he can save up for Bounding Crest, or Morph even could be pretty good for Manuel Meyer, who also has a Collected Company in his hand. So there's a Sky Spawner.
Sky Spawner. One of the favorite cards of the company players.
Yeah, and uses the Martin Dang token to indicate the Scion. I'm sure he'll be happy about that at home. So, yeah, let's see if Jakub Matousek has a 4-mana ramp spell that he can play on turn 3. Hedron Archive, Explosive Vegetation, even like an Illness Pilgrimage would be pretty nice here, because he can ramp into some good cards there. So it looks like 3-mana like an Illness.
That's the Kozilek's Return.
It's even better. That's the advantage of playing so much red in the deck. Plays a Kozilek's Return, so deals 2 damage to all the creatures, and he doesn't even wait for Manuel to just main phases it, but he doesn't have a 4th land. That's the interesting bit.
The 4th land comes down from Manuel Meyer, putting the Prairie Stream on the field, and he's passing the turn himself.
So I wonder what he can have. Do you think? What could it be? All right, there's a Sanctum of Ugin though for Jakub Matousek. So if Jakub manages to play an Explosive Vegetation here, which he will, he's going to be in a great spot, because if he has at least one of the big Eldrazi, he'll be able to make sure to not only find another one, but also trigger the Kozilek's Return. especially with stuff like World Breaker.
And we'll see the collected company on Manuel Meyer's side, and we're looking what can he put down on the table.
So collected company. Okay. Finding Bounding Crescent, Deathmist Raptor. Not too bad. Not too bad. So 6 power for 4 mana at instant speed. It's not bad. Also drew a Reflector Mage, but also has another. I think it's double Reflector Mage
And
Dromoka's command and then Protector. So that's kind of a little problem with the way like Jakub is taking some damage here. Finally, dropping down to 14 from that attack. But if Jakub has the World Breaker here, it's going to be very good.
So Manuel decides what to play or what not to play, and he's reading the Kozilek's Return as you mentioned, because he'll lose his whole board if the World Breaker comes down.
So yeah, Manuel reading the Kozilek's Return, he knows what's up. And that's why he probably doesn't want to develop his board further. He's probably pretty scared already.
He's passing the turn to Jakub.
So let's see what Jakub will do. We knew he didn't have any extra lands here, so he's if he wants to hit 7 mana, he would have to draw land here. But I think he has an Hedron Archive in his hand, so at least that's something. But he has to be careful about not falling too behind to what Manuel Meyer is doing here.
It looks like he has a Spatial Consortium too. So he can get rid of 1 creature at least.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. He has Sanctum of Ugin and Wastes to cast either. I like how his lands are nice. You know, my 2 green sources, my 2 red sources, my 2 color sources.
Now he's dropping the Hedron Archive.
Yep, so that resolves. It looks that way. Anything else? Jakub Matousek, 4 mana. Okay, another Hedron Archive. Okay, so he's just ramping up mana. So I think he's just he probably has an Ugin or an Ulamog in his hand.
Yeah, that would be a game changer.
Yes, he doesn't. He still would need a land for. Oh no, he actually has exactly 10 mana for the Ulamog. The Jakub Matousek falling down to 8, and Manuel Meyer again patiently passing the turn. Yeah. But we know that he won't have. He has another collected company, which is really good here, and. There's the 11th mana source from Jakub, another waste. So let's see.
And it looks like we will get something big on the table.
Yeah, we'll see indeed. Okay, so that is a World Breaker. So
the World Breaker.
7 mana. So he triggers both Kozilek's Return and Sanctum of Ugin. So he targets the Prairie Stream, and he's also going to. Well, I think it's before he targets that he gets to do the Prairie Stream. I think there might be again a judge call, but no, the player just agree. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so and Sanctum of Ugin gets sacrificed,
and he's searching for another World Breaker.
Yeah. So now Manuel he drew another collected company. So what Manuel will try to do is try to find 2 good creatures, and then
Reflector Mage the World Breaker.
Why didn't he find an Ulamog though? Because now if there's the collected company resolves and the World Breaker gets Reflector Mage, he can't play the other one. You know, you just can't play cards named World Breaker. If they
that may be game for Manuel if it turns that out.
Yeah, he does play 2 Ugins, so. To be fair, like playing it like this, I mean, I would still probably go for the Ugin here, but we don't know what's in his hand except the Spatial Contortion, right? Yeah. We saw. So
he found the Reflector Mage in the collected company. It looks like double Reflector Mage.
Okay, and I think he just that was his hand. I think in his hand he has double Reflector Mage, so he's going to go for the Advocate
and the Sky Spawn.
No, not that great, because Advocate just not that great if they just blew up one of your lands. But okay, so he's going to, I think, what is that? Oh, okay. So he was still in response to the World Breaker. Well, okay, after the collected company has been played, the land has been destroyed. Still an Oath of Nissa, finding another World Breaker. The sequencing. Not too happy with how that went. Probably Jakub Matousek. I'm sure he could have been a little more sacrificed, but maybe he has another Kozilek's Return? No, he has a Morph. So he's a Rattleclaw.
The Rattleclaw Mystic, yeah.
So at least he has a creature on the board that, I mean, it's not that great. At least can block the Scion, but he's going to drop down fairly low. So Reflector Mage will bounce the World Breaker. Just kind of funny now, considering. I don't think I quite like the way Jakub has been playing this game, but we'll see if it brings success. Maybe he's slow rolling like the Ugin in his hand already, or maybe he already has Ulamog or something and knew about the threat of the threat. Okay, so
Manuel cracking his fetch land.
thinking of playing Dromoka's command. That's interesting.
The good thing is Manuel has multiple reflector mages,
Yeah.
so he can, if he gets his mana ready every turn, he can play reflector mage into reflector mage and can deal the amount of damage he needs.
Definitely.
So he's searching up a forest.
I think he found a prairie stream here. Because he needs to make sure that if Jakub would play Ulamog or like another world breaker, which shouldn't happen. Okay, so he's not going for any of that. So he's gonna fight the morph and put a counter on the sky spawner. He might have another one. So there's the Rattleclaw. Yep, there's the counter. Oh, and now he uses the Scion to bounce the world breaker.
Yeah, that was a good turn.
That was a very good turn. So that's going to mean that an attack for 5, dropping Jakub Matos down to 3. And now Jakub really needs an Ugin or an Ulamog here, because otherwise he's toast, because he can't play any world breakers. As he pack up here, because we know he has 3 in his hand. One that was bounced, one that he found with the Oath of Nissa, and one that he found with Sanctum of Ugin, which is quite unfortunate, but at least for Jakub. But he looks to be tapping mana. That's 4. That's 6.
And there's the Chandra.
Okay, so he can Chandra -3 here. Okay, so he can decide to deal 3 damage to all the creatures and still has a Chandra left on the battlefield.
That was a very good turn.
That was a ridiculously good turn. Yeah, that makes sense though, in a way. Like, he went for more world breakers because he was trying to like inhibit the mana, but overall, we'll see if that deals, because Manuel found another land, so he's gonna add some. Okay, he has Lumbering Fall, so
he attacks with the Lumbering Fall.
Needed land here, but it's in that hexproof. He can't even play the Spatial Contortion. He completely that was a that was a fortunate turn of event for Manuel, because he drew 2 straight lands for that to happen. But I can't shake the feeling that Jakub could have played that much better. I mean, I'm pretty sure if he had Spatial Contortion in his hand the whole time, which we think he did, he could have prevented some of the damage. And Manuel Meyer pounced well. He used his collected companies at good times and just had enough pressure.
Yeah.
So, welcome back to the booth. I'm here with Christopher. I'm Matej. You probably know me. You probably don't know this guy. But
yeah, but if you watch the SpielRaum YouTube channel, you'll know me. But our YouTube channel is in German, so...
Yeah,
it's a premier English coverage.
Yeah. Oh well. But anyway, we're, for those of you just tuning in, and I'm happy there's so many viewers already. We over 100 viewers, which is great because we have lots of competition from other streams. But we're doing quite well, and we're here at the Vienna Regional PTQ, qualified for Shadows of Innistrad.
Yeah.
And how many players do we have exactly?
48 players.
Okay.
We'll be playing 6 rounds. Then there will be a cut of top 8,
Mm-hmm.
and the top 4 will qualify for Pro 2 Shadows of Innistrad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smaller RPTQ considering some of the sizes, but on the other hand, the quality of players is pretty high. We went through some of the players that were here. We're going to keep mentioning a few more, but overall, I think it's kind of funny when you see that the Italian RPTQ had 170 people, I think, and Italy is not that far. Like, the guys from like the northeast could have come here for a better shot maybe, but at least there with being more than 128 players, 8 people qualified here, only 4 do. So it's not only important to get into the top 8, but to win the quarterfinals.
Sure. The cool thing is we have so many nations here.
Yeah,
that's really cool. It's actually the second RPTQ we're hosting.
Mm-hmm.
We had another RPTQ. You were playing in it.
Yeah.
We had a short interview on the last coverage.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we have guys and women.
Okay.
From Turkey, from Cyprus, from the Ukraine,
Romania,
from
Slovakia.
the Slovak Republic, from the Czech Republic, Hungary.
Yeah. So a lot of people from all over the place, and it's great to see. And it's always this way in Spielraum, right? Because Vienna is like such a hub. It's easy to fly into, all the connections. And I remember the last RPTQ I was here, there were guys from like Greece, Turkey, Israel, like all over the place. It was very fun to see, and also very fun to play against because those people come from lots of nationalities. So let's head on back to the game so we don't miss the start.
Sure, as we did in the first game.
But the players are still cyborg, so we have still a few more minutes to talk about. So you saw the red-green RAM deck from Jakub Matousek, and I'm looking at what he can board in. I think he's going to like the fourth Kozlek's Return.
Sure.
I think he's going to board that one in, but and probably Dragon Lord Tarka. Seems like a good card.
Great
Even
finisher.
if it's bounced, like you at least killed a couple of creatures. So I think we might see that one. What can Manuel Meyer board? in this
Manuel
matchup?
Meyer will actually board the 4 disdainful stroke.
Wow, 4.
4 disdainful stroke
Wow.
for this matchup. I think that's
The perfect card.
the perfect card. He says another 3 dispel for the Kozlek's Return, maybe.
Maybe it's a little worse because like it's pretty easy to cast Big Eldrazi and be
Sure.
able to trigger it. It's not cast, so it just resolves as a trigger and deals 5 to everything.
And then he has another Stratus Dancer.
So not much. He could board in Valorous Stance, I think, but it's not that great. But I think he has to be very careful about how he wants to balance the cards in his
Sure.
deck. I think he doesn't want Dromoku's commands too much, and if he's boarding those out, he might also want to board a couple of Jaces. Those seem not that great in this matchup because they just don't create any pressure. They're a little too slow. So we might see Valorous Stance being boarded into.
To get rid of the World Breakers.
Yeah, or another Winged Rock just to have a good big creature, because the rest of the cards are not that great. But the Stratus Dancer could also be good. If you manage to play early, you can maybe counter Kozlek's Return or one of the RAM spells like the Explosive Vegetation or like something else.
To get him off of 7 mana to cast the World Breaker.
Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I quite like the innovation in the RAM deck now with the playing red-green, playing the Ruin in their wake. There's also the possibility of running those Chandras, which I think are really well positioned right now with the metagame. They're quite, they can be really devastating against the green-white hardened scales, like with the Bant company decks, and also against Rally. At least you can sweep the board partly or fully, depending on which turn you're in. But we're going to see how this matchup pans out as both players draw their opening hands. I think our chat is pointing a very interesting point that that Jakub made a very big error in not using Worldbreaker to destroy the Lumbering Falls out of all the lands. Yet he was trying to constrict Manuel from the other Colors of Mana, but if he had killed those that Lumbering Falls, he might have won that game. So yeah, thank you, Moosh, for lovely.
Yeah, actually, I completely overlooked the Lumbering Falls.
Yeah, because it's the played it as the first land, and we don't have a good overhead view with all the big cards, so yeah, I missed it too for a while. But yeah, it was Manuel also was very fortunate to draw an untapped land twice after getting one of them destroyed. So
it looks like Manuel keeps his 7 and Jakub takes a mulligan.
Okay, so just 6 cards there for Jakub Matousek. Oh, looks to be somewhat happy. He's going to just forget the scry. I think he forgot the scry, right?
Forgot the scry.
It's optional, and I don't even see what that land is. It's probably one of the Evolving Wilds, like one of the million printings of it, or maybe maybe one of the others. But we'll see what happens with the land.
So
yes, it's an Evolving Wilds.
okay.
It has so many printings. Like I get lost in art. Like
Yeah.
a couple of the arts like repeated itself, but there's still way too many. And especially if it's one of the promo arts. He goes for the wastes immediately, indicating to me that he has the Ruin in the wake in his hand.
And
so
he's setting up his Spatial Consortium to get rid of problematic creatures.
Yeah.
Maybe a turn 2 Sylvan Advocate who could put pressure on Jakub.
Yes, so he plays, that's the Ruin in their wake, so 2 mana, sorcery, you can search your land for a basic land card and put it into play if you control wastes. And since he fetched the wastes, he does have, so it's nice interaction that you can fetch the wastes with Evolving Wilds too, and just set up your early turns like this. It's a nice adaptation, and I like how it seemed like the RAM deck was already pretty much set in its way. Like the new set really gave a lot of cards to the deck, like the World Breaker, the Chandra, the Ruin in the Wake, Spatial Control, it goes like the turn. Both of them has so many new cards.
So Manuel fetched for Canopy Vista, and we're back in his turn.
He does have a Den Protector in his hand. I see a Father Strand. He definitely needs some pressure because being on the play Jakub Matousek and ramping up so early, you see?
Here's the Den Protector.
Yeah, he needs to play Den Protector here because he has no time to morph it, unmorph it, get something back. He won't even have many cards in his graveyard at all, so he just has to put on the pressure here. And let's see, Jakub Matousek gonna play Nissa's Pilgrimage. That's a promo one.
Sure.
I know that one. So he's gonna find a forest, put it into play, tapped, and another one in his hand that he's going to play this turn though.
Yeah. So his ramp plan is going off like he wanted to be.
Yeah. I don't know Jakub that well. There's another person named Matousek, Peter or Pavel Matousek, from the Czech Republic, who's not here today, and he's actually a pretty solid player that top rated a GP in Japan, and he regularly goes to GPs in Japan. But
Nice.
that's not him.
Yeah.
If you look at Matousek and you think, "Hey, this guy, why is he playing the way he's playing?" No, it's not this guy. As he plays an Oath of Nissa.
Oh, and Jakub finds a Ugin with the Oath of Nissa.
Yeah, still only at 5 mana, so it's a couple turns away from that.
And Manuel drew a Deathmist Raptor to getting more pressure on the board, which is nice against a clear board on the side of Jakub.
Yeah, but he's going to fetch here. I think he's going to go for a basic. And it will probably take one more point to play the Deathmist Raptor, unless he has a better turn 3 play, which I don't think he will have in his deck. He could have a Bounding Crassus or a Sky Spawner.
Sky Spawner, yeah.
We'll see. He goes for the island here.
Sky Spawner into next turn. Wingmate Rock would be nice to get pressure on the board. So he's attacking with the Den Protector,
Yeah, so
putting Jakub to 18.
3 mana, it is the Deathmist Raptor. So no Sky Spawner. I can already see why the Sky Spawner would be nice. Ramping you up, giving you a flyer. Definitely not bad. So let's see what the Jakub does here. But also, playing Deathmist Raptor is a little better here because of Kozlek's return.
Sure.
Like there's at least the Deathmist Raptor survives that. So there's another ruin in their wake for Jakub. So searches up for another land. So he's already getting up to solid mana. If he has one more land in his hand, he can play that Ugin next turn.
And that Ugin ends the game real quick.
Yeah. And Jakub fetches already with the Evolving Wilds too. He's trying to make it a little faster. He's already at 7 lands.
Yeah, as we've seen in the first round, it really takes long with the whole fetching, the whole shuffling.
Yeah.
And so very nice for Jakub to fasten this process.
Yep. But Manuel is putting on the pressure. As the best way for Manuel to what to do here would be play land and pass the turn, and have Collected Company ready to be cast if Ulamog would go down. If he doesn't have a Collected Company, he might be in trouble. But he untaps, passes. Also, he could also have Disdainful Stroke though, which we assume he boarded 4 of in.
But it doesn't look like that. As we see the cards, we see a Collected Company, another Den Protector, and
couple Reflector Mage, I think.
Reflector Mage, yeah.
Reflector Mage, yeah. So let's see if Jakub has the land here, because we know he has the Ugin here. So he needs a land that isn't tapped. So another Evolving Wilds would be a problem. It's Sanctum of Ugin. Okay, so he has 8 mana. Okay, so he goes for the Ugin. Okay, so sacrifices the Sanctum. Let me check that card.
And he's searching up a colorless Eldrazi with 7 or more mana.
Yep, looks that way.
And it's the Vault Breaker he's searching for. So big turn for Jakub Matousek.
Yeah.
He's clearing the board, getting the Deathmist Raptor and the Den Protector off. And there's end of turn the Collected Company Manuel has in hand.
So let's see if he can find enough pressure.
I see a Sky Spawner and another Deathmist Raptor.
Ooh, okay,
which is not bad.
Not bad. Like so he can pressure the Ugin now, which is nice because the first wave of creatures got destroyed.
And he has a Reflector Mage for the Vault Breaker again.
Yes, if that happens next turn, but at this point, yeah, there's a tapped land from Manuel. Also, I see a Stratus Dancer and
Stratus Dancer,
Den
Den
Protector.
Protector.
He would have, I think Manuel would have really liked an untapped land here, so he could have played the face down Den Protector and still leave 2 mana up. I think he's going to
Yeah, but
kill.
he has 2 mana up with the
There's
Eldrazi
a Scion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah, but he didn't leave up any green mana.
Yeah.
So maybe he has this disdainful stroke hidden there somewhere, or he's bluffing it. But he could have left open a Yavimaya. His life total is not that relevant. So
Ugin off the board.
that was good.
That's a really nice match.
Yeah, I think the dynamics of this matchup are very interesting because Manuel has to decide whether how much he wants to pressure and how much he can stay back, and on the other hand, Jakub Matousek has to just pile on the creatures, and it looks like he's just gonna go for the World Breaker here. Yeah,
there's the World Breaker.
Yes, has played another Sanctum of Ugin, so that's going to resolve, and we know Manuel is ready with the Reflector Mage here.
So it would be interesting if he searches another World Breaker or if he has a Ram spell to cast an Ugin.
I think he's just going to go for another World Breaker, just because he's so far away from casting anything else. Okay.
Swordnuts here.
Okay, that's card he sideboarded in. He has 3 in his sideboard.
Interesting choice here.
Right, so he's going to destroy the Prairie Stream and pass the turn.
That puts Manuel down to 4 lands again. And so Manuel's untapping. First it looks like he wanted to do something with his face down card.
Yeah, but then maybe he realized he doesn't want to. So he's going to Reflect to Major World Breaker, swing for a lot of damage. So that's 5, 7, 8 damage. So putting Jakub Matus down to 5, I believe. And Jakub really needs another Ulamog here if he wants to survive, or at least even Kozilek's return is not good enough here. And we know that there's still Den Protector that can bring back. Yeah,
so
and that's game.
There's the handshake. Manuel Meyer 2, Jakub Matousek 0.
Yeah, the favorite in this matchup won. We know that Manuel Meyer is one of the more experienced players in the room. Started off with 2 wins already in this 6th round RPTQ. We assume with this number of players that 4 wins, a draw, and a loss should make it into the top 8.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe even a person at 4 and 2 could make it. Depends on the number of draws throughout the tournament, of course. The size works out the way it does. So yeah, we see readying our overlays for the next round because this was over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And but as you can see, we've added during the match you'll be able to see the standings, seeing how the players are doing, and of course we'll be trying to upload standings to the SpielRaum website.
Yeah, sure.
Make sure to follow SpielRaum on Facebook. They're fantastic stores. I looked at it. I had to look up the directions again because I keep forgetting the number of the street. I know the street, but I keep forgetting. I look at it, and there's so many nice reviews from the people. People really like it here. I think it's one of the best shops in a huge
huge range.
Huge range, like several hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers, for sure. So when you're in Vienna, make sure to stop by. It's a great store, and I'm happy to be here doing coverage with you, Christopher.
Thank you for making coverage with us.
Gladly, anytime. I have a little time off because there's no European GPs. There's GP Bologna next week. There's no video coverage of that, but I'm hoping to be on the GP Barcelona team in 2 months' time, and that should be quite fun. But for now, in Vienna, ended with round 2, and I think we're going to go on a break.
We go on a short break, and we'll be back at round 3.
Yes,
and then there will be Oliver Polak-Rockenband. Matej has a short break.
I just go to grab some food, and I'll be back for the rest of the tournament. Don't worry.
Okay, and we'll see later in a few minutes.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.